It's a beautiful sunny day in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, and it's time for the best part of the summer, a collection of words I've been waiting all season to say. It's time for playoff baseball in the Greater Northeast Collegiate Baseball League. We're getting the brackets started today with a wild card matchup between the 5-seeded Windjammers and the hosting 4-seeded Lightning, who are in the field right now. I'm Charlie Fellows, as always, thrilled to bring you the beginning of the quest for the GNCBL champion, which starts today between these two teams that finished in the final two spots in the GNCBL's 5-team standings. But it is still anyone's game, especially with the winner of this one playing against the 1-seeded Nor'easters tomorrow. The home Lightning have on the mound today Quinn McDonald, one of the league's top pitchers. We'll talk about him more in a second. In the meantime, though, his defense surrounding him is Gus Holland at first base, Grady Hotham at second, Henry Bebo at short, Andrew Heffernan at third. In the outfield from left to right, Matthew Connor, Henry Lodger, and Campbell Cassidy, and Nick Frink active today doing the catching for Quinn McDonald, who is headed to St. Anselm this fall. He's a graduate of Kennebunk High School from Kennebunkport.
Leading off, James DiGiovanni.
His 1.19 ERA is second in the GNCBL. His 0.96 whip is first. 21 strikeouts in 17 2/3 innings pitched, and he is getting ready to throw the first pitch of the playoffs to James DiGiovanni. And it's in for a strike as we are underway. DiGiovanni, a freshman at Worcester Polytechnic, also a graduate of Kennebunk. These two in the same graduating class out of Kennebunk High School. That's down the first base line past the diving glove of the first baseman Holland into right field for a base hit. DiGiovanni gets things started. And a first pitch hit allowed by the pitcher that has allowed fewer hits per inning this season than anyone else. He now faces off against Jack LeCouture with a man on and none out, a rising sophomore at Rollins from Winter Park, Florida, accustomed to the heat we're seeing today. That's in the strike zone. That was a 2-pitch at bat to start this one. So that was pitch number 3 for McDonald. 6'3" right-hander. Outside for ball 1. He's a member of a Lightning staff that features numbers 1, 2, and 5 on the GNCBL ERA leaderboards, with Ian Libby at number 1 and Josh Kopetsky at 5. Both of them are active in the bullpen if need be. But manager Matt Rogers hoping McDonald can take him at least some of the distance. That's into foul ground and made a catch on the run. The right fielder Cassidy for out number 1. The runner stays put at first.
At bat, Sam Malgiri.
Sam Malgiri, a junior at Plymouth State from Stratham, New Hampshire, one of many New Hampshire natives on this Windjammer squad, with 1 out and 1 on. Cutting a miss at strike 1. The Lightning, of course, joined the league about a third of the way through the season, comprised exclusively of rising freshmen. Many of their players were engaged in playoff runs with their high school squads, including 3 of them that were on the eventual champion South Portland Red Riots. We'll be seeing a couple of them later on. A 1-2 Malgiri, who's out in right today, fouled back. Switches time between right field and first base. Does the 6'3" lefty. Oh, 2 now. Towards second. Doesn't try to go for the double play. Instead, just keeps it safe. Throws it on to Holland for out number 2. James DiGiovanni down to second. Landon Schwartzman, the crown jewel of this lineup for the Windjammers, the GNCBL's top hitter, with a man in scoring position and 2 out. Also a Kennebunk High School graduate. They're showing out today. He graduated in 2022, now a rising sophomore at Skidmore. His .487 batting average is first in the GNCBL, as is his .872 slugging and 1.460 OPS. His 17 runs batted in merely tied for first. Also with 3 home runs, which is first. Takes a strike. That was the first ball that Quinn McDonald has thrown to start this at-bat. Leadoff man on second, and now McDonald throws down to second. DiGiovanni has to dive in. These Windjammers finished the season 7-11-1. They got a win over the Lightning in the last game of their season. That bumped the Lightning down from second all the way to fourth and forced them to take part in this play-in game. Not really a play-in game. The loser is still alive, thanks to the double elimination format of the playoffs this year. Off the handle of Schwartzman's bat, 2-2. The loser of this game will play tomorrow, as will the winner. Actually, no, the loser will have to wait until Thursday. By tomorrow, I'm referring to Tuesday. Tomorrow in GNCBL days. Off the end of the bat into right field, but right at Holland for out number 3. The Windjammers get the leadoff man on, but can't capitalize. When we come back, we'll see the Lightning. Bottom of the first now, with the Windjammers in the field. The Lightning, the home team, due up to bat. The Windjammers with Drew Reynolds, their midseason addition, on the mound in lieu of Owen Sullivan, who is their ace, but evidently not here today. The defense around Reynolds is Ryan Putney at first, Landon Schwartzman at second, James DiGiovanni at short, Tyler Lambert at third. The outfield, Colin Ryan, Sam Peterson and Sam Malgiri from left to right, and Jimmy Gignac doing the catching for Reynolds, his sophomore at Thomas College out of Granny Gloucester High School. He is one of the trio of midseason additions that the Windjammers have made that have helped them bolster their depth. For Reynolds, it was depth in the pitching department, something the Windjammers do not have much of for that stretch run, and hoping to get a playoff run on his shoulders. Lambert has a ERA in the low 7s, so hasn't exactly set the world on fire so far, but that is a limited sample.
Leading off, Andrew Heffernan.
And Andrew Heffernan, the leadoff man for the Lightning today, typically bats in the 3-hole, but with the notable absence of the Lightning's best hitter, Richie Gilboy, manager Matt Powers has had to shuffle things around a bit as Heffernan takes the low for ball 1. The lineup behind him, Campbell Cassidy, Nick Frink, Henry Lodger, Gus Holland, Henry Bebo, Grady Hotham, Reese Owens, and Matthew Connor. Just 9 today. 1-1. Heffernan fouls it back. He's heading to Merrimack this fall after winning the state title with South Portland. This season he's hitting .316 with 1 home run. Fouled back again. One, 2 is low. Mile high pop up, foul back and out of play. That went off a few booths over from The press box, Andrew Heffernan, the defending Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year in the state of Maine. The best player on the best team. That isn't the criteria for the award, but that's what he was. 0.33 ERA and a 4.32 average. He was a pitcher and a hitter, but he swings through strike three. Drew Reynolds starts off by striking out the best hitter on the opposing team.
Up next, Campbell Cassidy.
To bring up Campbell Cassidy, who's another power threat. Also heading to Merrimack in the fall and also took part in the Maine Class A state championship. He was on the losing end with Edward Little High School. He's from Auburn. This season hitting .275 with 4 runs batted in and 2 home runs. Lined in left field and for a base hit. Fielded by Colin Ryan. That'll be a routine single. Base runner with 1 away.
Up next, Nick Frank.
And speaking of power threats, the Lightning with many of them, and they're all in the top of the order. Nick Frank takes a ball inside. Thornton Academy graduate, also played for Scarborough High School. Heading to D1 Quinnipiac in the fall. That's arcing foul off to right. Woman with an umbrella nearly had to use it. One and one, runner goes. Inside ball 2, throw down by Gignac is just late. Cassidy in with a steal. So he's into scoring position with 1 away. Henry Lodger on deck. And he takes off for third. That's on the ground is short, fielded by DeGiovanni. Throws over to first, but taking off for home is Cassidy, and that was ill-advised. As the throw comes in to Gignac, he's able to get the tag, and the Lightning get nothing out of that. An interesting double play to end the inning, and strand no one. 0-0 after 1. Top of the second with Quinn McDonald back on the mound. Ryan Putney, Sam Peterson, and Jimmy Gignac, the trio due up for the Windjammers, who last inning stranded their leadoff man at second. Ryan Putney is a junior at WIT, Wentworth Institute of Technology, from Exeter, New Hampshire. He's playing first base today. Just saw one of the sillier 1-2-3 innings I think I may ever see that culminated in a runner getting thrown out at home, which is not something you see in a lot of innings where only 3 men bat. 2-0 on Putney. Hope the Lightning will not come to rue that. (3-0). And that finds the strike zone. McDonald does not walk many, hence his league-leading whip. And Putney swings right through that. Fighting back from 3-0 is McDonald. And a payoff pitch now. Foul back. Nice breeze picking up. Welcome feeling for everyone on the field and in the press box alike. Another payoff pitch, and that's inside ball 4. Well, McDonald doesn't give up many hits, and he doesn't walk many, but so far this game he's done one of each. Both leadoff men. Sam Peterson, the center fielder, now will bat with a man on. junior at UMaine Farmington from South Berwick. And McDonald misses again. Peterson graduated from Marshwood High School. In 2020. Or 2021, rather. Two-0. Just finds the strike zone there, does McDonald. Looked sharp in the first inning, but throwing a bit more pitches here. As a rare cloud provides some shade for the players today. Checked a swing, but a strike anyway. Tuesday, the playoffs will continue with the winner of this game taking on the Nor'easters at Gorham High School. That's where I'll be. And the Norsemen and Patriots doing battle at Biddeford. I say that with a comically large asterisk. The forecast for Tuesday looking a bit grim, but I'll try not to jinx it. Another payoff pitch, third of the inning. And that's a swing and a miss at a high fastball. McDonald needed that. The 22nd strikeout of the year for him. First of the game. Jimmy Gignac with one away and a man on. Sophomore at St. Joseph's. Into left field. Ranging back and making the grab, Matthew Connor for out number 2. For Tyler Lambert. Senior at Castleton out of Lyman and Massabesic High School. Transferred there after 3 seasons with UMaine Farmington, the last of which he batted .240. Taking strike 1 from McDonald there. Runner goes. In for strike 2. Throw down to second is close, but he gets through the glove of Grady Hotham and into left field. If he had been able to keep that in his glove, that might have been a successful pickoff, but Putney advances. Oh, 2 count on Lambert. McDonald. And he went around. That's strike 3. McDonald once again navigates through a leadoff man reaching. Neither team has allowed a run yet. Bottom of the second. Henry Lodger, Gus Holland, Henry Bebo, the 3 due up for the Lightning against Drew Reynolds. They went 1-2-3, kind of, in the first. With Campbell Cassidy reaching on a single, getting to second on a stolen base, then getting to third on a stolen base, and being thrown out at home by the ultra-rare 6-3-2 double play that Nick Frink grounded into. 0-1 from Reynolds, inside, to Lodger, the Thornton Academy graduate, batting .154 with 5 runs batted in. Hits that hard into left, but into no man's land. Coming on it and making the grab is Colin Ryan for out number 1. That was just off screen. But he, along with Tyler Lambert and James DiGiovanni, all converged on it. He was the one who called for it. Gus Holland will now bat. He's at first today. Nick Frink has his catching job. Heading to USM in the fall out of Freeport High School. He's batting .354. This guy's at in the center. Coming on Peterson. Long run, and he makes the grab, calling off DiGiovanni. Quick 2 outs.
Bebo.
Henry Bebo out of Portland High School will bat with 2 away and none on. He's a shortstop today, heading to Bowdoin College. Drew Reynolds has had a penchant so far this season for some long, dicey innings and navigating his way out of jams, or on occasion not navigating his way out of them. But so far he's been working as that's on the ground to third. Over to first, a clean 1-2-3 inning. Second by him so far. The Lightning have not had much pressure off of his pitches. We'll see what they can do. But first, top of the third, Windjammers up. Top of the third, still no score at the ballpark at Old Orchard Beach. Colin Ryan, Bob Wing, James DiGiovanni to face off against Quinn McDonald, who so far has thrown 2 innings, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 2. Skied into left. Coming on, making the grab, Matthew Connor. 1 pitch out.
Up next, Bob Wing.
Bob Wing, another one of those midseason additions. Brendan Kincannon is absent today, so he rounds out the duo that we will see. He is at St. Joseph's, a Windham High School graduate. He's batting .263 with 6 strikeouts, no runs batted in. Takes ball 1 from McDonald. He's a DH today. Fouled back. The Nor'easters finished clear of the pack as the 1 seed. Their fate was never in doubt, but it was a hectic last day of the regular season on Tuesday. I saw a bit of that. That's a comebacker off the glove of McDonald. He's able to knock it down, but not able to throw on in time. Bob Wing just barely able to leg that out, and the Windjammer dugout is thrilled with his efforts.
At bat, James DiGiovanni.
Would have been a spectacular play by McDonald if he had been able to get his glove on that or track it down in time. 1 on, 1 out for DiGiovanni, who singled his first time up. And he'll do so again down the right field line. That's a single at least. Fielded by the right fielder Wing now, trying to stretch it out to third, and that relay throw is offline. So Bob Wing dusting off the old wheels. His coach is thrilled. He is 90 feet away from home plate with 1 out. DiGiovanni with his second hit of the day.
Up next, Jack LeCocher.
And Jack LeCocher now, who has flied out to right as a Mound Conference will commence. Ian Libby was warming up in the Lightning bullpen last half inning. I didn't get to talk about it because the half inning was approximately 90 seconds long. In any event, though, McDonald will stay in to pitch to LeCocher. Bob Wing on third. DiGiovanni at first with 1 away. As I was saying, though, the Norsemen took part in a pair of games, as did the Lightning on Tuesday. The Norsemen were 4th in the league at the time. The Lightning were 2nd, and by the end of the day, those seeds had swapped as the Lightning lost both of their games, 1 to the Patriots, 1 to the Nor'easters, and the Norsemen swept the Patriots in a doubleheader, or swept the Windjammers, rather, in a doubleheader. That's a foul ball. To move all the way up to the 2nd seed, they will host, so to speak, the Patriots, as I said, at St. Louis Field in Biddeford on Tuesday, weather permitting. Windjammers want to strike first. Runs are always out at a premium against this vaunted Lightning staff. And McDonald has been statistically the best one of the bunch. But on the ropes here, 0-1 is high. Nick Frink also with his work cut out for him, with the speedy DeGiovanni at first. One, runner goes. Throw down to second, and he's going to be out. Did not get a great jump, and Nick Frink guns him down. That's a critical second out. Now, all of a sudden, Bob Wing in peril, 90 feet from the promised land. The catcher needs a hit. 2-1. Flied into right, into foul territory. And Campbell Cassidy makes the grab to end the threat. The Lightning get out of it. They strand a man at third, and they keep the scoreboard a pair of donuts. Bottom of the third now. The Lightning just caught a huge break. We'll see if that momentum can continue with Grady Hotham, Reese Owens, and Matthew Connor, batters 7, 8, and 9. To tee off on Drew Reynolds. That's a grounder swinging bunt that rolls foul. Tee off, of course, in the figurative sense, considering no one aside from Campbell Cassidy has reached base against Reynolds thus far, and he was thrown out on the base path, so the Windjammers have faced the minimum. Grady Hotham out of Palermo and Erskine Academy. That goes off the catcher's mask of Gignac. He's fine, though. Heading to USM in the fall is Hotham. He is batting 122 with 7 runs batted in and pacing the GNCBL in a stat he probably wishes he wasn't. Strikeouts. Despite joining the league a third of the way through, his 22 Ks lead the way. That's into center field. Coming on, and he can't make the play. Center fielder Sam Peterson. So Hotham shutting me up. He's on board.
Up next, Reese Owens.
Reese Owens now out of Bonnie Eagle High School, batting 200 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. With Hotham aboard. That's a bunt. Laid down well, and not in time to reach base for Owens, but down to second goes Hotham. Owens doing his job.
Matthew Connor.
One away for the 9-man, Matthew Connor, the left fielder out of Chevrolet. Batting 188 with 3 runs batted in. A solid hit could get him a 4th. Reynolds starts him off outside. I alluded to the Windjammers' lack of pitching depth. Owen Sullivan leads the league in strikeouts, but judging by the fact he's not making the start today, I can infer he's not on the active roster. Nate Burnett, also one of their top arms. He's more of a reliever. Other than those two, and of course Reynolds, as a nearly averted a pickoff attempt there by Hotham. Other than those 3 names, the pitching situation has been dire for them all season. Swing and a miss. That's strike 1. Landon Schwartzman has a few innings, as does Colin Ryan. John Luxinger has been a solid reliever when he's been available. Another massive cut by Connor to even the count at 2-2. He's visibly frustrated after that. Has a man on scoring position with 1 away. Andrew Heffernan on deck, the top of the Lightning order. Two into center. Peterson makes the grab, tagging and going for third now is Hotham, and he will get there. Close play, but his sliding tag beats out the throw. 2 straight sacrifice plays, a sacrifice bunt and a sacrifice fly. Gets the leadoff man all the way down to third. Similar situation to the one the Windjammers were in, although this is with 2 outs. Andrew Heffernan struck out to lead this game off. Takes strike 1. Battle of 6-2 righties. Dancing out of the way of ball 1 is Heffernan. One. Diving stop by Gignac to save a run. Hotham has wheels, as we just saw. And Reynolds has to be careful, leaves that one low for ball 3. Campbell Cassidy on deck. He, before this inning, was the only man to get a hit off of Reynolds. 3-1. Left low, ball 4. First walk issued by the Windjammers starter. Campbell Cassidy, as I said, has singled, also stolen 2 bases and been thrown out at home. Had an interesting journey around the base paths. Doesn't have to get into all those misadventures this time, though. A single will do the trick. Fouled back off of the umpire. Runners on the corners and 2 out. Both teams showing signs of life, but neither has broken through yet. Runner goes, ducking out of the way of that pitch is Cassidy, and that was in a spot where Gignac had to go and turn around. He could not throw down to second, so Heffernan gets a free base. If he had thrown, Hotham probably would have scored anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Low for ball 2 on Cassidy. So now 2 in scoring position. They'll be running on contact. Like that. Hard into left. At the track. And that's over the fence. That's a home run. A 3-run shot by Campbell Cassidy, his second hit of the game, and this one does a lot more damage. He can touch home plate with no fear of a throw because that's in the woods, and the Lightning lead it 3-0. Reynolds almost got out of it, but that is one he would like to get back. 3-run shot. And the Lightning draw first blood. Now Nick Frink will bat against Reynolds with 2 down. He takes ball 1. Mile high pop up. Giving chase is Gignac, but that's over the backstop. 1-1. Man, what a shot that was. Out to the deeper part of the outfield. That's 363 at that part of left, and that just barely cleared it. I initially thought it might be caught, as the left fielder Colin Ryan didn't seem to be turning around, but that is the 3rd home run of the season by Cassidy. Ties him for the league lead with guess who? Landon Schwartzman. And a much-needed jolt of energy for the Lightning coming off of 2 back-breaking losses in which their offense simply did not show up. What a way for it to come back. Nick Frink with looking at a payoff pitch, and that's the second walk of the inning for Reynolds. Henry Lodger flew out to left as manager Derek Wood and his infield coming out to talk with Reynolds. No activity in the Windjammer bullpen. I'm interested to see what their replacement option would be. Likely taking someone from the infield. Reynolds will remain in the game to pitch to Lodger, still with 2 outs. All this damage has been with 2 outs. Showing bunt, throw down to first, offline. Strike 1 on Lodger. And now Reynolds tries to throw down himself. This is what I was talking about before. Reynolds has a penchant for getting himself into jams as the runner goes. Strike 2, swinging by Lodger, but Freak able to get down to second. He also has a penchant of wriggling his way out of him, Reynolds does, but could not quite escape. That is strike 3. He escapes a runner in scoring position there, but not before 3 runs of damage are dealt off of 1 swing by Campbell Cassidy. His Lightning lead it 3-0. Well, the Windjammers have been punched in the mouth. We'll see how they respond. Sam Malgeri, Landon Schwartzman, Ryan Putney, the heart of the order, with a second crack at Quinn McDonald. This was a waiting game for a bit, but we didn't have to wait for long. Campbell Cassidy put a 3-run dent in what was a scoreless tie. The Windjammers now on their back foot. Strike 1 called. 1-1 the count to Malgeri, who grounded into a fielder's choice his last time up. That advanced James DiGiovanni in the first inning. Through to the backstop. 2-1. To the 6'3" right fielder out of Plymouth State. Taken high. McDonald with a 3-run cushion. Fouled back to bring the count full. That's on the ground is short. Fielded on 1 hop by Bebo over to first. Not in time. Malgeri legs out an infield hit.
Up next,
Landon Schwartzman now. These Windjammers have had no real problems reaching base against McDonald. They had a dry stretch in the second inning, but it has been the advancing to home that's been the hard part. Bob Wing almost got there. Schwartzman, uncharacteristically, was not one of the Windjammers that reached base the first time through. He popped out to first base. 1-0. In the zone. The Lightning were 8-6-1 a few days ago. 8-8-1 was their final record. They are the defending champions of the GNCBL, which is mainly a symbolic title, as none of their players are the same, of course. Still a legacy they hope to continue. It'll be an uphill battle coming through the wild card game. Wild card teams win World Series all the time. I hope that rings true in October. As a Red Sox fan anyway. Eye for ball 2. McDonald again to first. Malgeri knows the value he has as an opening base runner. Big cut. Comes up empty to Schwartzman. The Windjammers are in even worse shape if his bat does not come to life. 2-2. Foul back. As having someone batting nearly 500 throughout the entire season is critical when you need to manufacture a rally. You have one spot in your lineup that you can count on. To the backstop, or not quite to the backstop, but past the glove of Frink, which accomplishes the same thing. Malgeri to second on a pass ball. So, full count, man in scoring position, none out for the league's best hitter. He was the inaugural GNCBL Player of the Week, an award that was only given out once, but he probably would have won a couple more, as that is low for ball 4. Second walk issued by McDonald.
Up next, Ryan Putney.
And the Windjammers once again in business. A pair of base runners with no out, as the Lightning with the mound conference, and we may be seeing a pitching change here. With Ryan Putney due up, he was the recipient of McDonald's first walk. Head coach Matt Powers out to talk with his ace. The Lightning have an embarrassment of pitching riches. Gavin Belarjan, Josh Kopetsky, and Ian Libby. The three big ones. Andrew Heffernan moonlights as a closer for this team. We may see him in the 7th. McDonald will stay on the mound. Mason Ryan and Nick Swain also situational relievers for this team. Steps off the mound. Carefully doesn't get a balk called on him. That was close. Now he will pitch to Putney, the junior at WIT, who dances out of the way of ball 1. Malgeri on first, Schwartzman on first, Malgeri at second. Ryan Putney, the tying run, swings through strike 1. So we are nearing our halfway point. With the sun back out in full force in Old Orchard Beach. That one low, ball 2. I imagine many of these players will be heading down to the Fielder's Choice Ice Cream Parlor after this game. Not to do free advertising for them, but not that they need it anyway. Wonderful establishment. Big cut. Putney wanted to make like the man out and right now and clear the fence. And just above the top of the screen, you're missing out on a plane with an advertising banner going across the sky. Not quite sure what it says. I think it's backwards. Once again, they don't need my free advertising though. 3-2. Payoff pitch from McDonald. Into right. Arcing foul. On the run. Cassidy couldn't quite get there. Putney stays alive. This is a critical at bat, as we are now nearing the quartet of Windjammer bats that did not reach base the first time. Peterson, Gignac, Lambert, and Ryan Went strikeout, fly out to left, strikeout, fly out to left. That, though, is a big strikeout from McDonald on another high heater. One away, a double play now ends it. Third K of the inning, or of the game, rather. Sam Peterson, also one of those Ks, the first time up. Here in the top of the fourth, runners on first and second, one away. Showing bunt. Runners were thinking about going, and Malgeri has to scamper back into second as he was caught in no man's land. If Frink had been a little quicker on the trigger there, could possibly have seen a pickle, but hesitated, and Malgeri took advantage. 0-1 from McDonald. Steps off. Pitch is starting to rack up for him. Gignac due up. 0-1. High. And a couple long innings in a row. More playoff action for me. I can't complain. Low and away. Ball two, and Gignac, or that was Malgeri, just takes off at random when Nick Frink wasn't paying attention, and he gets a free base out of it. Heads up play by the right fielder. Now any ball that leaves the infield will drive him home. Nick Frink had to make a stop on that. 3 balls and 1 strike. Malgeri at third. Schwartzman at first. 3-1. Into right. Coming on Cassidy. Makes the grab. Malgeri tags. And he will score. Relay throw not in time to put the Windjammers on the board. On the Sam Peterson sac fly. It is now a 3-1 ball game. Jimmy Gignac now with 2 away and a man on first, as Schwartzman did not tag wisely. The catcher flied out to left his last time up. Swings through strike one, a curveball inside. McCaffrey got jammed down to third. Throws on and able to make the tag off the base to end the inning. The Windjammers get on the board, though. A sac fly drives Sam Malgeri home. He got there thanks to some smart base running, getting third base while the catcher's eye was turned. That makes it a 3-1 game as we are halfway home. Bottom of the fourth, Lightning coming off a 3-run inning, and Drew Reynolds, the man that gave up those 3, is still on the mound to face the trio of Holland, Bebo, and Hotham. That's out to left field for a base hit. Holland is on after 1 pitch. Henry Bebo grounded out to third to end the second inning. Lays down a bunt over to third, throws on to Malgeri for out number 1. Advancing to second is Holland.
Up next, Grady Hotham.
Grady Hotham now, who started that third inning with a single. He was then sac flied over to third base by a pair of flyouts. Not that it would have mattered because Campbell Cassidy drove him home via home run. One on, one out. Reynolds fouled back off the very edge of the viewing platform right next to the press box. Shocking, in all my games that I've called so far, I've not had a single ball go off of the plexiglass that shields me from the action out there. A luxury that surprisingly few fields around these parts have, but one I am thankful for. 1-2. Low and away. There's something to be said for being exposed to the elements, having the game right in front of you. A proverbial stone's throw away, like at St. Joseph's or the Field of Dreams at Harrison, but especially on a 80-plus degree day like today, I will take the glass. 2-2 on Hotham. Trying to at least advance the runner to third, and that's roped to left foul. That at home run distance, but a few dozen feet over in front of the foul pole. It's a little blind spot in the view that we have here. The very far left-hand corner. Jammed foul back. Nearly bounces back into play. 2-2. The count remains. Reynolds, having to work for it. Trying to keep the deficit at 2 for his bats. That's inside and made the stop. Down to third. Just off the glove of the third baseman, Lambert. I really thought that was in time. It probably was in time if Lambert had been able to field that cleanly. But now, Holland at third, regardless of what Grady Hotham does. Full count. And he struck him out. That will add to his league-leading total for Grady Hotham. He sits down. Third K for Reynolds. Reese Owens had a sac bunt in the third to advance Grady Hotham to second. Could possibly try the same thing here. With a batter 90 feet away, Gus Holland can run. Instead, swinging for the fences at a sweeper inside. On the ground to third. The run will score. Over to Malgeri at first, and he can't field that cleanly. That goes through his glove and all the way to the wall, so that'll be a free 2 bases for Reese Owens. The Lightning now with a 4-1 lead. That run would have scored regardless of the error at first, but now another runner in scoring position for Matthew Connor, who had a sac fly in that same third inning. So that is an earned run. One 0 on the Lewiston native. That finds the zone. Connor heading to Assumption in the fall. Reese Owens at second, 1-1. Into center field, dropping, and that's down for a base hit. Rounding third, trying to score is Owens, and nope, he holds up at third, and wisely so. That was a good throw to Jignac, the catcher. Runners on the corners with 2 down now. Connor gets his first hit. Andrew Heffernan with a strikeout and a walk. Also scored on the Cassidy homer. Lightning with a run in and 2 out in the 4th. Inning number also their run number. Though you can tell that with our fancy new graphics package. Had the finest minds on the production team come up with that one. 1-0, just outside. Excuse me. 1-1, 2 down, and 2 on. Big cut by Heffernan. Probably the last frame for Reynolds. Trying to make it out. I say that, but still no bullpen activity for the Windjammers. Although, likely whoever replaced him would come from the field, so there's that. 2-2. Just got a piece of it. Owens at third. Matthew Connor at first. Reynolds trying to limit the damage. He's 1 strike away. Heffernan already with a K today. Off the end of the bat. Arcing, and that'll drop between second and right field. That'll score a run. Advancing from third to score is Owens. Matthew Connor to second. Heffernan aboard. 5-1 the score now. And now the man who has driven in 3/5 of that run total did it on 1 swing. An inning ago, his 3-run blast opened up the scoring in this game, what had been a war of attrition. Now in a familiar situation, runners on first and second, 2 down. Those were the conditions under which he hit the home run before, the 3rd of the season for him. 2-0 from Reynolds. Cassidy can blow this game open. Mile-high pop-up on the infield. DiGiovanni calls for it and makes the grab to end the inning. The Lightning, though, get 2 more. They now lead it 5-1 as we head to the 5th. Top of the 5th in Old Orchard Beach, and the Lightning have made a pitching change. Quinn McDonald is done after 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 1 run. The man to replace him, the 6'7" righty out of Gray, New Gloucester, Ian Libby, to pitch to Tyler Lambert, Colin Ryan, and Bob Wing, batters 8, 9, and 10. The bottom of the order for the Windjammers. Tyler Lambert struck out his last time up. 2-0 now. Libby heading to USM at season's end. So far this year, he has a 0.60 ERA, which is tops in the league. 21 strikeouts in 23 innings. Has come on almost exclusively in relief for the Lightning. And done well. 3-1 though. Lambert thought he had ball 4. Able to catch the bat before he unceremoniously tossed it. Payoff pitch into center field. That's down for a base hit.
Up next,
Colin Ryan flat out to left field in the 3rd inning. Led off that inning by doing that. The Chelmsford, Massachusetts native hits a pop-up, and Ian Libby calls for it, and his 6'7" frame allows him to reach out and grab it, steal it from Andrew Heffernan, who also was going for it. Quick first out. Bob Wing was central to the Windjammer rally in that third inning that came agonizingly close to getting them on the scoreboard first. Wing legged out an infield single to the delight of his teammates before going from first to third on a James DiGiovanni single, but he was ultimately stranded there. DiGiovanni was picked off at second, and LeCoultre ended the inning with a harmless flyout. Throw down to first was in vain. 1-0 on Wing. Ball 2. DiGiovanni on deck. Big cut. At strike one, the Lightning lead this one 5-1 in the wild card game. The winner of this one will face the top-seeded Nor'easters at Gorham High School on Tuesday. You can come to that live or listen to the call, weather permitting, of course. 3-1. Wing trying to go 2 for 2. Instead, he'll take ball 4. Ian Libby rarely issues a walk.
Up next, James DiGiovanni.
But Wing able to work one there. DiGiovanni's 2 for 2. He has a pair of singles. Has reached second on one and been thrown out trying to reach second on the other. Has 2 men on and 1 out. That one past the glove of Frink to the backstop, and now 2 men in scoring position. With 1 away, a golden chance for the Windjammers to get back into this game, and now a mound conference will commence. Lambert down to second, or to third rather, Bob Wing to second. No bullpen activity for either team. This has been an offense-heavy game thus far. Lots of hits, lots of action. The GNCBL playoffs could deliver no better product. But it has been a one-sided affair. As now, Josh Kopetsky, or that's Nick Swain rather, out in the Lightning bullpen. Ian Libby on the ropes here. 1-0 to DiGiovanni is low. Having trouble finding the strike zone. Very uncharacteristic for him. Normally pinpoint accurate. Nigh unhittable. Misses with 3 straight. Jack LeCoultre on deck. He's 0 for 2. And that's ball 4. Looked like it might have hit the strike zone, but no dice. I believe this is Liam Milne, a pinch hitter. Have to deduce that because he is the one player on this roster whose number I don't have, and he is number 3. Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded and none out. 2 straight walks issued by the normally lights out Libby, but on to second for 1, on to first for a double play, and they get out of it with no runs. Ian Libby heard me doubting him, and he got out of it. Liam Milne sees 1 pitch and grounds into a double play, a back-breaking turn of events for the Windjammers. They stay with just the lone run. Bottom of the 5th, the Lightning just narrowly averted their lead, massively shrinking. They will try to expand it now. Drew Reynolds back on the mound for a 5th inning of work. Manager Derek Wood getting every last out he can out of his starter. With Nick Frink due up, and he hammers that foul. Wow, that was a shot. That went, that definitely went home run distance. That would have been well over the fence had that not been foul. I definitely just blew everybody's ears out with that. The loudest strike I think I've ever seen. Now 0-2 on Frink. My heart just stopped. I can't imagine how it feels to be Drew Reynolds right now. 0-2. And a harmless fly to second. And it's like it never happened.
Up next, Henry Lodge.
Frink's 0 for 2. Henry Lodger also 0 for 2. He has flat out to left and struck out. Normally the leadoff man for this squad, but with Richie Gilboy out, the lineup is shuffled around a bit. One away, none on. Reynolds starts him off low. Lodger this year came into the game batting 154. That number a bit lower now. Played for Thornton Academy, a team that lost to the eventual champion South Portland. That's into left all the way to the wall. Trying to stretch it out to a double, and he will. Better relay throw might have gotten him, but Colin Ryan could not get his glove on it in time, and so
At bat, Gus Holland.
Henry Lodger with a big double. Mound conference now will commence, and it looks like a pitching change for the Windjammers as a new pitcher coming out from the bullpen. We'll see what happens here. Derek Wood talking with his man. And indeed it will be. Drew Reynolds done after 4 1/3. We will see who's coming on to replace him right after this. Back to the action. Bottom of the 5th. Drew Reynolds is done, as I said, after 4 1/3 innings of 7-hit, 5-run ball. The man to replace him is Colin Ryan, who is in from left field. We will get you the name of the new left fielder when we know it. Gets Gus Holland to swing through strike one. Colin Ryan, as I said, a sophomore at UMass Dartmouth out of Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Has not made many pitching appearances. He's been a spot reliever, which is what he is today. Gus Holland looks at ball one. He has flied out and singled. With a man on second and one away. Diving stop by Gignac. Lodger hit that double that drove Drew Reynolds from the game. Two and one. Throw down, and he's got him caught in a pickle. Lodger took off for third at the wrong time. And once this concludes, he tried to a little swan dive to possibly avoid the tag, but that was in vain. Got a mouthful of dirt and out number 2. Retired via the classic pickle. So 2 away. Base is empty for Gus Holland. A little bit less mouth-watering, but still a chance for something. 2-1 from Ryan. Finds the zone. Two, 2 out. Just low. Lightning hoping this will be the second to last time they bat. That's low for ball 4. Holland reaches base.
At bat, Henry Bebo.
Colin Ryan walks his first batter. Henry Bebo has grounded out and grounded into a fielder's choice. I believe that was a sacrifice bunt. To the backstop that goes. Free second base for Gus Holland, and now we're basically back where we started, just with one more out. Bebo, the shortstop, is 0 for 2 today. Hits it into center. Sam Peterson under it and make the grab for out number 3. For the first time in a couple innings, the Lightning don't score. 5-1, the deficit remains. Windjammers with 2 more chances to pull even or take the lead as we head to the 6th. To the 6th inning we go. Ian Libby back on the mound for a second full inning of work, as Sam Malgeri, Landon Schwartzman, and Ryan Putney do up in this top of the 6th. Malgeri takes ball 1. He has hit into a fielder's choice and singled. Also watched a home run sail over his head. Or actually, that was Colin Ryan. Malgeri is a right fielder today. He's made a couple nice plays. 1-1. To the Stratham, New Hampshire native. Foul tip into the mitt. That is all the way to the backstop, missing his spot with ball 2. Head coach Matt Powers surely thought he could just cruise to victory with Ian Libby through the 5th and 6th and Andrew Heffernan to close it out, but last inning it was a bit dicier. But a clutch double play prevented any runs from scoring. Jury's still out on who exactly that was that grounded into the double play. We're going with Liam Milne. 3-2. Stays alive, does Malgeri. Landon Schwartzman on deck. Still looking for his first hit. The GNCBL's batting champion. Strike 3. Libby's first K.
Up next, Landon Schwartzman.
Schwartzman has popped out and walked. Last inning, the Windjammers had the bases loaded and none out. Before that double play. Dancing out of the way, nearly grazes him. Does Libby, 1-1. Schwartzman, a sophomore at Skidmore. One and 2. Hasn't been terrible, has reached base, as I said, but hasn't been a typical Landon Schwartzman outing. 2-2. That's high. Payoff pitch. Up the middle for a base hit. Ian Libby nearly got a glove on that. The 6'7" righty, about the only person in the league that could have, but didn't have the reflexes needed to lay out for it. And Schwartzman gets his first hit. Second given up by Libby. And now here's Ryan Putney, who has walked and struck out. Lays off strike 1. The Windjammers have a bit of a mountain to climb here, with just 5 outs remaining before they head down to the losers bracket. They will play the loser of tomorrow's game between the Norsemen and the Patriots at St. Louis Field in Biddeford. So whoever loses this game will be off for a few days until Thursday. That is, of course, assuming any potential rainouts on Tuesday don't mess with the schedule somehow. You can always check GNCBL.com for the updated schedule in that department. And in the meantime, we will pray for no rain. Tune 1 is left high. Libby with a lot of 3-ball counts, including 2 walks. Uncharacteristic of him. 3-1. On the ground to third. Throws on in time for out number 2. Schwartzman advances to second.
Up next, Sam Peterson.
Sam Peterson has struck out and hit a sac fly. That scored Sam Malgeri in the 4th inning, which is thus far the Windjammers' only run. High and away for ball 1. Schwartzman on top of everything else he can do, also speedy. 1-1 from the Gray native. Just finds the strike zone there. Man on second, 2 out. Swinging bunt, and they're going to say that was a foul ball. Could have been trouble, but this grass not kind to hitters on balls like that. The balls tend to just die right in front of the plate, allowing for an easy play. And with 2 outs, advancing the runner won't do. That's high. Frink had to reach up to stop it. 2-2. Chopped on the infield, running on the third baseman, and not in time. He had to cover a lot of ground. Andrew Heffernan did, and could not make a play. So runners on the corners now with 2 out. Peterson with an infield hit. And now Jack LeCouture batting for Gignac, so bit of lineup musical chairs here as a result of Colin Ryan coming in a pitch. That's out to left, but arcing foul. LeCouture has flied out twice to right. Has a chance to add to his squad's score here with a hit, or at least get the inning to Tyler Lambert with a walk, who singled his last time up. 1-1. Fouled again off to left. Libby has allowed 3 hits and 2 walks in his inning and 2/3. That's all the way to the backstop, well over the glove of Nick Frink, and his throw is not in time to stop Landon Schwartzman from scoring. So it will indeed be a second run for the Windjammers, irrespective of what Jack LeCouture does. Full count. And he walked him. Sam Peterson down to second, and LeCouture on with a walk. 1 run already in with 2 out. And now Tyler Lambert with a chance to narrow the gap even further. He has struck out and singled. And Libby hit him. And hit him hard. He threw that bat with an amount of vitriol. And holding on to that wrist. Parker Coleman now to pinch hit for Colin Ryan, who is 0 for 2. So Coleman, it then is the left fielder. That answers that. Bases loaded, 2 out. And a mound conference underway. Ian Libby will stay in the game. Parker Coleman is a sophomore out of Bentley. another New Hampshire native.
Windjammers, Parker Holman.
From Albany, New Hampshire, went to Kennett High School as well as Bridgeton Academy. This season hitting .226, slugging .400. Coming off a freshman year at Bentley where he did not crack any action. Bases loaded, 2 out. Bob Wing on deck, who has singled and walked today. 1-0 is in the zone. An incredibly high leverage situation for Libby. Last time he was in one, he got out of it. This time, on the ground to short. Throws over to first, and he will get out of it once more. The Windjammers leave him loaded in a game they trail by 3. They have left a lot of men in scoring position today, and unless something magical happens in the top of the 7th, that will be the story of this game. Before that, though, the Lightning, with hopefully for them anyway, one final chance to add to their lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th in the GNCBL wildcard game between the 4 and 5 seeds, the former of which currently holds a 5-2 lead, a competitive, action-packed game it's been so far. Colin Ryan back on the mound for the Windjammers, his first full inning of work to face off against Hotham, Owens, and Connor. Batters 7, 8, and 9. Hotham takes ball 1. He has singled and struck out. The Lightning, as expected, have Andrew Heffernan warming up in their bullpen. He is their closer. Although, if they get a hit, Heffernan is set to bat, so probably a pinch hitter in that event. 1-1. Nick Swain was also warming up. Showing bunt. Can't try that again. 1-2. Reese Owens on deck. Had a double of sorts when a throw to the first baseman Ryan Putney got through his glove on what looked like a routine sacrifice ground out. 2-2 from Ryan. Off the end of the bat into right, 4-base hit. Second hit of the day for Hotham. One of the best games he's had in a bit. First hit surrendered by Ryan. Reese Owens, as I said, has hit a sac fly and reached on an error. He was on the bases when they were left loaded in the 4th by that Campbell Cassidy pop out. Into right. Catch made by Malgeri. Runner does not advance. One away for Matthew Connor.
At bat, Matthew.
Who has hit a sac fly and singled. The Lightning with a lot of production from the bottom half of their lineup. They've had production really from all of their lineup, but the bottom of the lineup especially has 3 hits and a reached on error between them, also 2 sac flies. Runner goes. Throw down to second by Gignac, not in time, and goes off the glove of the second baseman, and Hotham's going to take that opportunity to get all the way to third. Stealing second, getting to third on an error. So now all of a sudden, Connor with a man in scoring position with 1 out. He looks at a ball. Andrew Heffernan is on deck. So his bullpen session, if that even was happening at all, it's hard to tell what the numbers are from all the way over here. He typically closes games for the Lightning, though, so it was an educated guess. 2-1 to Connor. Colin Ryan wanting to make the comeback effort for his team as easy as possible. But not if Connor has anything to say about it. That is through the gap for a base hit. The run would have scored regardless, but now Connor has his second hit of the day, and the Lightning have their 6th run.
Andrew Heffernan.
6-2 now. Andrew Heffernan has struck out, walked, and singled. A man on first and 1 out. Josh Kopetsky, I think, is the man warming up in the pen. That's a mile-high pop-up. DeGiovanni makes the catch for out number 2. Campbell Cassidy, excuse me, will bat.
At bat, Campbell Cassidy.
He is the man of the hour, the most valuable player for the Lightning. He has a single, a pop-out, and a 3-run homer. Runner goes. That is past the diving glove of Tyler Lambert into right field. Rounding third, trying to score. And nope, he will wisely think better of it. Matthew Connor stays at third. On the Cassidy single, the 3rd hit of the game for him. Runners on the corners now with 2 down for Nick Frink. Colin Ryan has given up 3 hits in this inning. And Nick Frink could blow this game open. He hit a towering fly that was just foul earlier in this game. And an at-bat that ended with a pop to second. He's also grounded out and walked, so he is hitless so far. Colin Ryan, 1 out away from ending it. That's on the ground to third, bobbled, and everybody's going to be safe. Tyler Lambert fielded that rocket and could not get it in his glove cleanly. So another run in.
Henry Walden.
Matthew Connor scores. Down to second is Cassidy. Frink aboard with another hit. Off the stuff of Colin Ryan. 7-2 now the score. And that's grounded past the umpire to short on to second to retire the side. But the Lightning grab 2 more runs and make that Windjammers comeback all the more unlikely. You know what we say, though? Everything and anything is possible, especially in the playoffs. Top of the 7th, the last chance for the Windjammers is Bob Wing, James DeGiovanni, and Leah Milne. They will bat right after this. Top of the 7th,
Leading off,
Nick Swain
Wing.
is in the game for the Lightning after Ian Libby gets done with a roller coaster ride of a 2-inning relief appearance. Only gave up the 1 run, though he left the bases loaded both times he ended an inning. Swain will pitch to Bob Wing and throws in a ball. Wing has singled and walked. Made it to scoring position both times, but never further. 1-0 finds the strike zone. Nick Swain out of South Portland High School, another one of the champion Red Riots. He's heading to Dean in the fall. Looks at ball 2. One and one. Left low. I believe that's 3-1. The account. Swain. And that's low for ball 4. Wing draws his second walk. Just how you draw it up to start a rally. A leadoff walk, never a good thing for a pitcher. And that will bring up the top of the Windjammer order. And Jaden DeGiovanni, who has had himself a day, he is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a walk. He's also been thrown out on the base paths twice. But at the plate, he's done well. And they can worry about the base paths part when they get to it. 1 on and none out. The Windjammers with a 5-run mountain to climb. Low for ball 2. Swain not finding the strike zone. Liam Milne is on deck. He grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the 5th. Off the end of the bat, foul. If this is any indication, the GNCBL playoffs are going to be can't-miss affairs. My only regret being that I can't call all the games. There will be a few that I have to miss, considering they happen at the same time and at parks that don't have press boxes. 3-1. Swing and a miss. That was probably ball 4. Goes to the backstop. Full count on to Giovanni, the freshman out of Kennebunk High School. Payoff pitch. Chopper. On to second for 1. On to first in time to turn 2. Not what you want if you're a Windjammers fan. Giovanni retired for the first time. And now, with 2 away, the final hope is Liam Milne, whose lone plate appearance resulted in a double play. As I said, the Windjammers had the bases loaded with 1 out against Ian Libby. But Libby was able to get out of it, as he was a bases loaded none-out jam, or bases loaded 2-out jam the following inning. That misses. If the Lightning can hang on, they will face off against the Nor'easters, a team they have seen a lot this year. They are 1-4 against them, though, so that will be a challenge. Down to his last strike. On the ground is short, fielded by Bebo, over to first, and that'll do it. The Lightning advance, winning by a score of 7-2. They will head on to winners quarterfinals to face off against the GNCBL's number 1 seed, the Nor'easters. That game will be at Gorham High School on Tuesday. I will be there with the call. You can head there and watch it yourself or watch the video when it's up, weather permitting. The Windjammers, meanwhile, head down to the losers bracket. They will play the loser of the Norsemen and Patriots game, which is also on Tuesday. Those games, as well as all these playoff games, will surely be thrillers, and it is still anyone's game as to who will take home the GNCBL championship. That game will be a week from this coming Tuesday. Until this Tuesday, though, I've been Charlie Fellows. Take care.